You're not imagining it. Your 401k is flatter than a liberal's bell curve. But here's the thing that's baffling liberals everywhere. Trump supporters are still standing tall. The media can't comprehend it. But what you'll pick up from this video is that the pain the left keeps crying about isn't even real for most Americans. It's fabricated, just like their polling. In this video, we'll break down pollster and RINO political consultant Frank Luntz's hilarious confusion, the media's economic gaslighting, and why Trump's plan might just be working better than they want you to know. We're talking tariffs, jobs, GDP spins, and liberal tears. We got it all. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Look, if you like our videos and you haven't already, become a subscriber to the channel. Hit that notification bell, smack the like button, because it helps us get our message out to more people. So here's the setup. Frank Luntz. Yes, that Frank Luntz, the pollster with the moral consistency of a weather vane. He's baffled that Trump voters aren't collapsing into puddles of regret. And here's the response from actual Americans. What pain exactly are you talking about? Here's Frank Luntz again, peddling what sounds like confused therapy speak on MSNBC. He's responding to a news anchor truly befuddled about the loyalty of Trump voters. Give it a watch.
In terms of his supporters, do you see no shift? You're arguing that they're saying that things are even better than before. Do you think that this tariff issue or this economic issue is going to have any impact, if it has one? I mean, I think there's an argument to be made, at least thus far, it has not had a meaningful impact yet, though obviously there are people who are predicting it might.
I've been mocked for saying I'm surprised about this, but I'm surprised about this. Anyway. That Trump voters who acknowledge that they're worth less today than they were on Election Day, that the 401ks they depend on for their future has been hurt.
I mean, how many people depend on your 401k only for your future? Come on.
Has been damaged. And yet they stand behind him. Yeah. They'll make excuses that the markets were overbought. They'll make excuses that we need to level set.
See, that's the thing. They don't make excuses. They live in Realville.
They're willing to accept personal pain for them to get a readjustment of the relationship between the U.S. and China, a readjustment of the relationship between the U.S. and the rest of the world. They'll take personal pain to get that readjustment. And Andrew, I've never seen this before, because usually when you're hurt economically, that changes your perspective and your politics. Not with these people. You're staying.
Yeah. Now, from what I've personally seen, most Trump voters haven't felt any pain from President Trump's actions. But Joe Biden and the Democrats almost bankrupted them. Let that sink in. It wasn't too long ago that they weren't just struggling. They weren't just hurting. Bankrupted or very near it. That's the pain Luntz can't see from his gated community or Georgetown dinner party. Americans remember how bad it got under the Democrats. Now, it is true that when President Trump first announced his reciprocal tariffs plan, the stock market plunged. And Democrats, left-wing media, and rhinos pounced on that news. All the Trump haters got together, had a party. But the market has already recovered every penny and more. Wait, what? That sounds like something that works. You'd think CNN would have mentioned that in between climate hysteria segments, but they didn't. But under Joe Biden, people's 401ks sank like a lead balloon. I lost $60K under warm diarrhea brains Joe. And that's not MAGA propaganda. That's real life kitchen table economics. People know when they're hurting because of really stupid or bad policy, and they know when they're doing better or they're about to do better because they can see what the leadership of the country is working at. And Luntz can't figure out why voters are sticking with Trump. Maybe it's because facts are more convincing than feelings. Manufacturing investments in the United States are growing by leaps and bounds, guys, and will create high-paying jobs that deported illegal aliens can no longer steal. The Democrats and the libnuts in the media keep forgetting to mention that at the beginning of Trump's second term, he said multiple times that there will be a little pain at first, but that the dividends will be a bonanza for Americans. And it's very simple. Trump voters don't wake up each and every day thinking, how can we get rid of Trump now? They voted for him not because he was a Republican. If that was the case, Kamala Harris would have won. They voted for him because Trump voters trust the man. He did right by them in the first term, and he's already doing right by us in this term. We know it. The other side doesn't, because all they have is blinders and hatred running through their veins. A politician doing exactly what they said they would do to help the American people's lives get better? That's a foreign concept to the left. There's no talk about leverage or screwing over a certain group of Americans so that you can get the votes of another group of Americans. No, that doesn't happen here. Trump voters know that Donald Trump loves this country and loves the American people. And based on his first term results, they know that when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. He may not be able to get 100% of everything that he wants to get done. But at the end of the day, you know that he tried his level best, which is something that most other politicians don't have the stomach for. Donald Trump has always had good political instincts. He truly is the blue dog billionaire. There are certain things that will get you elected and keep your base loyal, but you have to mean what you say and you have to produce results. Trump does on both counts. Trump's number one promise was the unspoken truth that the left pretends never existed. Secure the border. And suddenly, Americans get jobs. Go figure. Inflation is falling fast. And with the mass deportations, crime will drop. This country has gone from hopeless to hopeful. And when Trump gets at least half of what he wants to do for us, the American people, it will go from hopeful to grateful. Let's analyze this. Who in their right mind thinks Trump voters are worth less today because of Trump? They all know that he is just reversing all of the damage that the Biden regime and the Democratic Party inflicted on an innocent populace. So Luntz said of the loyalty, I've never seen this before. Of course you haven't, Frank. You spent 30 years pretending that people in Ohio are just slightly less sophisticated Californians. Spoiler alert, they're not. The problem is that Trump haters and left-wing media always underestimate the man. They don't realize that the world does not behave the same way around him. Now, you would normally blame a president for a bad economy, unless, of course, you're Joe Biden and they wanted to protect the doddering old fool, but we all know he was a dangerous joke. And that's why over the last several weeks, we have seen the media do their darndest to convince Americans that there's Trump regret for voting for him. We did a video yesterday where CNN used Van Jones to try to get 3 black Trump voters to say that they had regret. But Van Jones had to do a face plant because they said they would vote for him again. They said that they are very happy with what Trump is doing so far. And while we're at it, let's address the oh-so-dramatic GDP drop. Yes, it did drop 0.03%. But that is because companies brought as much foreign merchandise into the country before the tariffs took effect. That cost the GDP 5 full points, in fact. Translation, it's not a crash. It's strategic repositioning by these corporations. But that won't stop the fake news industry from throwing a pity party with stale donuts and broken calculators. Here's the real economic lesson, guys. When you actually build things in America, it takes time. Doesn't happen overnight. There are growing pains. But unlike Biden's inflation spikes and DEI executive orders, Trump's changes are purposeful and rooted in strength. The left thrives on emotion, but America was built on grit, logic, and results. And don't throw out a coach during the first quarter because the team's warming up. You trust the process, especially when it's working. So yeah, Frank, that's why Trump voters stay loyal. Not because they're blind, but because they're finally seeing clearly. Let's close this out on a high note. America is coming back. Factories are opening. Wages are rising. Crime is going down. We're not there yet, but the road ahead looks a lot brighter than the pothole-filled detour that Biden dragged us through. The contrast between the Biden years and now are so vivid and clear that I will refer to the Biden years from now on as the era of discontinuity. Enjoy yourselves, guys. We have a president who has our back despite what the little ogres on the left are reporting. All right. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Rihanna's brothers buying beer, so freaking cool, can you believe? He'll bring his friends to college guys, our weekend plans are such a dream.